Hello and welcome to our Friday afternoon for today's Aging Community broadcast. Thanks for joining us live, or if you're catching this on the rebroadcast, know we always appreciate you as well. Today we're going to be sharing with you how we have gone about setting up goals for ourselves as our kids have kind of entered into a new season, and some of the struggles that we've had over the past month and how we're setting ourselves up for a successful September. So it just got super stormy here
really
in Texas, and it's really dark. So our lighting is really funky.
Turn that one back on.
We're gonna try to do our best to keep you guys in the light with us, and more importantly, keep a stream going here because it just went crazy on us. So, like I said, we have been kind of in a funk the last couple of weeks, to be totally honest with you, and we're trying to find our way, coming out of a really amazing summer that we had with both kids at home and a really lax summer, and getting ourselves back into a routine and a little bit more structure. So we know if it's been hard for us, it's probably been hard for our kids as well. And so we're really trying to just go with the flow a little bit and find a new groove. And so I shared with you guys, some of the goals that I had for myself. I think I did it on Instagram where, this month for me fitness wise, like I really had some goals where I wanted to up my running pace and up my mileage and keep track of how many days I was consistently working out, and all of that worked out great. My goal was running 50 miles in the month of August. I've already surpassed that. I think I'm at 56. I have a really great run scheduled for tomorrow. I over-calculated a little bit how much I was going to work out as far as the days in the month I was going to work out, and originally said 25. And didn't account for the fact that I really do like to build in 2 rest days for myself in any given week. I don't like to have any more than 2, but I always like to have that flexibility of having 2. So if you just do the math, 25 days wasn't going to work out. So I fell a little bit short of that goal, but realized that I just don't want to work out that many days, and that I don't really have to in order to reach my goals, because I am running at a faster pace, therefore I'm covering more mileage. So it's easy to hit that mileage goal. So all of these things are really valuable to go through yourself and run a little test when you're setting some new goals for yourself, to kind of see what works and what doesn't work, and then adjust accordingly. And we're finding that's really the best way to be successful with what it is you say you want out of your life, and not having to feel like you're either failing all the time or your life is so regimented that you're taking all the joy out of what you're trying to accomplish as well. And I know a lot of my ladies on Instagram also jumped in with my Go All In challenge that I set up for, we set it up on Sunday to just pick one thing to go all in on. And again, my Go All In was to get up every morning at 6 a.m. and really get my workouts done first thing in the morning. And what I found in the reality of my week is that I can get up with the mindset to get my day up and running at 6 a.m. But because of my responsibilities as a mom, I don't always have the flexibility to get that workout done at 6, and I refuse to get up any earlier than that. So I really fine-tuned even my Go All In goal for this month to realizing that there are just a couple of days during the week that working out at 6 a.m. is just not realistic for me. And so I made adjustments to that as well. So picking that one thing as a Go All In for 7 days is also a really good way to test out some things that you want to implement into your routine and as a goal or a schedule for you. And you can kind of then ebb and flow or make some tweaks to it, so that if it's really important to you, you can find a way to make it work. Or like for me, I know now that there are those designated days that working out at 6 a.m. is totally feasible for me and something that I really enjoy. And then there's other days that just physically I cannot get that done, and that's okay. I'm making accommodations for that. So Michael, how did your August go?
Well, for me, I wanted to kick up my cardio to 4 to 5 days a week, and I managed to do that. I did that, and then I was adding on strength at the end of my cardio, and because I hadn't been doing that consistently, so I started doing that consistently, and that went pretty well. I also wanted to incorporate something I haven't been doing, and I've been really slacking on, is my reading and journaling. So I wanted to start doing that in August, and I was really successful at that. And the thing that helped a lot was the Atomic Habits book. I mean, that book, if you guys have not read it yet, we're going to be doing
Book of the
a
month.
book of the month club with that, and what an amazing book. That really got me on target with hitting a lot of my habits and goals that I'd set for wanting to read more. So since I've read that book, I've knocked out like 3 other books. So I haven't done that in a really long time. So that felt good. And like Diane said, going through this season, like kind of a funk the last couple months. Well, this year, like, I mean, I lost 3 friends at work. So that was kind of hard. I mean, 3 guys that I work with
It's a
every day. I
heart
mean,
attacks,
like,
right?
well, yeah, mostly, yeah, heart
Heart
attacks. And I think one was a massive stroke. And man, that was a really terrible thing to deal with. And we had a family member that got really sick. So that caused a little bit of anxiety for me. And so another goal for me for August was to get more screenings done. So I got a calcium test done, got an echocardiogram test done, and thank God that I did. I mean, like, 'cause, Diane and I work out, we eat right, we drink water. I mean, we do all these things that you're supposed to do. And I have calcium buildup in my heart, and that's due to hereditary heart disease because I do not have high cholesterol. That's the first thing they told me as well, is because you have high cholesterol. I told her I do not have high cholesterol. She goes, well, yeah, you do. No, I don't. I mean, so I went back on my follow-up appointment with my paperwork. I'm like, look, I get smiley faces on my uh, on all my results. So with that, she said, well, maybe you need to just adjust and bring it down even more, since it's hereditary. So that's going to be a goal for September, is to, bring it down even more than what it already is for the cholesterol.
So some of the things too when you're setting up these goals for yourself is you have to figure out like what kind of things you need to have in place, right? So Michael's doing a little bit of research to see like homeopathically what he can do to just make, not eliminate, I don't know, I guess maybe get in control of what's going on with the calcium in his heart, and if it is hereditary or whatever it is, like it's a predisposed condition, maybe there's some things that he can do, because we're like 90% vegan, doesn't eat a lot of red meat, he always has lower cholesterol than I do, so there's something else triggering that. So he's going to go on a little research venture in September, do some homeopathic things for that. And so you have to, when you're setting up those goals, realize, okay, what do I have to do, what do I have to have in place to make this happen? So for me and my running goals, like I have to have my, I run on a treadmill, so I have to have my treadmill. I have to make sure I have a way of tracking my paces that I'm running and the distance that I'm running and how many times a day, whether you're Xing it off on a calendar. For us, we have the Peloton, so it's super easy to track. It calculates everything out for me. I can go on there and see X amount of miles that I ran in any given month, so it's super easy for that. I also like to do my blood glucose and ketone testing index every month, and so I have to make sure, like I just ran out of glucose strips, so I had to place an order to get some in. And so when you're setting up your goals for the month, it's also really key to make sure you have all of the things that you need to make sure that you can execute those goals. So Michael has to make sure that he has, new books to read or books available to him so that he can get his reading done. We have some business goals that we have to get done in September. I'm launching 2 new courses in the month of September, so we have to make sure that we have time allocated to make sure that we can get that done and available to all of you. We're working on a feasting guide to publish and making sure that we have all the things that we need to make that happen as well. So it's, it's a little bit deeper than just writing something down on a piece of paper. If you've taken my goal setting course, I walk you through this process of identifying what your passions are, turning those into actionable items, and then doing the work and the brain dumping to make sure that you have all the pieces in place to make sure that you can actually execute what it is that you say you want to make happen for yourself. So I think we rebounded pretty well.
I think so. And some of those situations have kind of balanced out, and I mean, because it was kind of worrisome during the summer. Like I said, we had a family member that got sick, and that was kind of worrisome. And dealing with the guys at work that passed away, that was kind of a tough blow to take. And like you start doing a lot of self-examination. Like, hey, like these guys are my age, and they're just dropping dead of heart attacks and strokes and everything else. So it makes you examine yourself, like, hey, maybe I need to get some screening. And we did a live a couple weeks ago about about getting a calcium screen. It's really easy to do. You don't have to go through your insurance or any of that. You just go straight in, and it's like $100. It's well worth it. You know what your numbers are, because 50% of the people that die, there's 1 million people a year that die of heart attacks, and 50% of them
Are preventable.
they're preventable. I mean, like, they just had no idea because they didn't have any symptoms of a heart attack until they died of one. I mean, think about that. I mean, that's pretty astounding.
Well, and that goes true for us ladies too, you know, making sure I did a whole series of talks about going to get my colonoscopy, and you know, I was like the poster child for having a clear colonoscopy, and ended up having like really you know, a much bigger issue of polyps than Michael even had. So here again, I'm the poster child for health and fitness, and I have higher cholesterol than him. I had bigger polyps than him and more polyps than him. Fortunately nothing that was, you know, problematic, but still it's that thing that, you know, just because you think you're living a, you know, picture perfect poster child life of health and fitness doesn't necessarily mean that what's going on the inside is going to always mesh up with that. And a lot of times that's out of our control. And so if you have the means to get screenings done, and you have the means to get any of those kind of tests done, always take advantage of them, you know, whether that's getting your mammogram done, your pap smears done, your colonoscopies done, getting your skin checked for cancer type things developing, and then always make sure that you have a game plan in your hip pocket, is what I always say, for making sure that you are always on your game. So if something does come up that is unpreventable, or maybe something that's gonna, you know, something that you would never even think that you have to fight, you're already at your A game when you have to have a fight against something that's health related. And so that's why I'm always doing research. So I'm always sharing here with you guys. That's why Michael's sharing here with you guys as well. We always want to have that A game on track, and then we always want to have enough information. We want to be informed enough to attack something proactively, already have everything in place in case we have to have a fight for our life, right?
Yeah, and you know, I've talked to guys at work about health issues and getting screenings, and you know, the company I work for, they pay you to go get screened. They put money into your account, and I always talk to guys about that, and they say, "Oh, I would never do that." Why would you never do that? Well, because then the company, they know all your business. Like, go get screened. I mean, it's basically free, you know, just go get it done. And I mean, and they're going to give you money to get it done. Like, it makes no sense not to have it done.
Yeah.
I mean, why do you have insurance? I mean, that's one of the things, you know, in this country, that people are fighting for better insurance and just having insurance coverage, period. And you have insurance coverage that you don't want to use. It makes zero sense.
Yeah. So let's circle back around to goal setting and changing a new season. So, you know, we're coming out of summer for most of us. We're heading into winter months. I know some of my beautiful ladies on the other side of the world are entering into their summer months. Lucky them. And with those seasonal changes come lifestyle changes, and we have to be able to accommodate those and go with the flow of those, so that we don't set ourselves into like a tailspin of not being able to recoup. And I know we've talked about this before, and we're going to talk about it a lot next month too, about seasonal what is it called? A seasonal distress disorder or something like that, where I know I'm affected by it severely when it's dark early and when it's cold and I can't sit outside and get into the sun or the warmth, and I get the blues. And how can we offset that, or how can we kind of hit that head on so it doesn't become so encompassing of who we are through a season that we lose control of what we want and how we're acting and how we're feeling. And so I always like to kind of head you guys off on that too, and I'll share some tips and tricks that I use and some things that you can do too if you're affected by, you know, those seasonal blues, when the weather starts to change and the sunlight starts to change as well. So we love using the Passion Planner. You guys know I've talked about it here forever. Michael uses his as well. I have all my September goals already written down in mine. I broke them down from fitness, business, and personal goals. So I'm going to build on the fitness goals that I already achieved for August. My running pace is getting faster, so I don't know how I'm going to be able to keep up with that, but I keep getting faster and faster every month, so that means I'm going to have to increase that mileage goal that I have. I know Michael and I are avid readers, so we have our books that we're going to be reading. We're also going to be sharing with you guys here in the community, so make sure you're on our email list that we are going to be doing a course in October, I believe is when it is. We did it last October. It was a huge hit, where we do a book of the month club and a life decluttering opportunity for 30 days, where we just go through and declutter our life and sort of get ourselves organized to head into the last quarter of the year and into a new year, just cleaned out and lightened up. And we're going to do that in conjunction with that Atomic Habits book. So that's going to be super fun in October. And then for those of you who are graduates of our course, I'm going to be working super hard getting together the final touches of our, what I'm calling the Fasting Success course, and that will be available to all of our graduates. So we got a lot going on, and we really have to be diligent about setting those goals for ourselves so we keep ourselves on track. What do you think, Michael, setting goals for you has done for you as far as the outlook and energy that you have for things you want to accomplish?
Well, it's definitely given me a good outlook for, where I'm going with my fitness and my health, and living this lifestyle, this intermittent fasting lifestyle has really given me a really positive outlook, because like in the past, I've just done so much of that yo-yo, like with your weight and stuff, and I don't do that anymore. So now I feel like I'm at a place where I'm always going to be pretty solid with like where my weight is, where my fitness is, without the same effort before. I mean, like before, I felt like to get into the kind of shape that I wanted to get into, it took a lot. Like I would have to hit the street and run like 7 miles every day to try to lose weight. Like I don't have to do that stuff anymore. Like my workouts are pretty precise. I mean, I'll do a 30 to 45 minute Peloton bike ride. I'll do a 15-minute weight workout after that, and that's nothing like what I used to do. I mean, it used to be hours of trying to lift weights and run outside, but I had to do all that to hit my goal.
Right.
I feel like with this intermittent fasting and a keto-like lifestyle, I've totally cut that in half. So the time that it takes me to get fit compared to what it was, 5 years ago is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
So I definitely have a really bright outlook, where we're going, like as far as our health and fitness.
And Michael's going to start doing the glucose ketone index testing with me. So again, it's one of those things that he has it as a goal. He's kind of watched what it's done for me every month that I do this glucose ketone index weekend. I come out of it with like amazing results and benefits from just putting my body in that next level of healing, and those benefits are sticking. So he's like, hey, just like fasting, right? Hey, I want to be part of that healing process. And so he's going to start doing that testing with me. So again, it's that goal he has for September, which means we have to make sure he has all the things and tools and stuff that he needs to make sure he's successful in that as well.
And those numbers don't lie. Because we have people come on the channel, especially for Today's Aging Woman channel, and oh yeah, that's not true. Oh, the experts say this and that. Hey, the numbers don't lie. So some of the testing that Diane's done, the past couple months, and she's hitting her targets, and those numbers are saying that what her ketone levels are, what her glucose levels are. That does not lie.
Yeah, and
some of the things we're doing, they're working.
I figured out a way through trial and error to get myself into deep healing states of ketosis without extended fasting and without following a ketogenic diet. So that's what I'm going to be teaching in my course, how you can simply take a weekend and over the course of time, you can get yourself in this position where at will, you can just make a couple decisions and a couple little tweaks, and you can get yourself into some really good therapeutic healing without having to go to extremes. And that's the thing that I really, that's one of my goals here, is to teach you guys how to not have to go to extremes to get amazing results. So I got a whole list of tips and tricks up my sleeve, and I'm going to be teaching you all of that in our Fasting Success course, along with how to water fast correctly and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be that next level course for sure. So if you're a graduate, keep an eye out on your your emails, because I'll be sending out enrollment information about that. We should be able to launch that the first part of September, first couple weeks of September. So I'm super excited about all of that, how we can, get to that next level of healing and have that information and that experience to draw off of, just in case we have to actually go to therapeutic healing for something that became unexpected.
Yeah, no doubt.
So we do love the Passion Planner. I talked about, I know a lot of you have been converts to the Passion Planner. On YouTube, there's links for it, and on my Facebook page, I put links for it too, in case you guys want to get a Passion Planner set up for 2019. I always run a goal setting course at the end of the year as well, to help you guys gear up for a new year. I'm a huge fan of setting goals and intentions and priorities and passions and all that stuff for ourselves at the beginning of the year, as I know a lot of people are, and we do that through our goal setting course. So I'll keep you guys posted on that as well. But this is the book I use. I've been using it for 6-something years, and I have my 2020 already ready to go. So we'll talk about more about that as well. So write down your goals. Don't be afraid to put things as a little bit of a stretch. I shared on Instagram, where I do all my fitness sharing, that my running paces now are what my sprinting paces used to be. And that was just the process of setting goals, being consistent over time, and not being afraid to be uncomfortable at the beginning of the month, so that you can be totally achieving your goals by the end of the month. And it is just that ebb and flow of being a little bit uncomfortable and awkward at the beginning of the month with whatever goals you're setting, so that by the end of the month you can be super proud and excited that you achieved them or exceeded them, and then you can build on those goals for the next month. So you do have to get a little bit uncomfortable to reach those goals, but it's so worth it when you get to that point where I'm running at paces that, like I said, were used to be sprint goals of mine, or sprint paces of mine, and I'm not even out of breath, and I can't even get out of my training heart rate zone. So it's amazing what you can get your body to do if you train with a diligent plan and you follow it, right?
Yeah, and that's something I've done too in August. I didn't mention was the pulling back factor. I mean, every bike ride I was on Peloton was, I was out to win. I was out to beat anybody that was on that bike that day, and that's not the way to train.
No.
So I definitely pulled back and did some more heart rate zone training and some power zone training, and it's got me into a condition now that I can have my heart rate zone lower and be in a higher power zone range, and I can still compete fairly well. And then on my race days, man, I'm blowing it out of the water even better than I did before. So
yeah, but he had to set goals to that, because he was just mindlessly riding his bike, jumping on and just doing whatever. And when we talked about it, and he sat down and actually figured out a plan for how to execute that, and he did it. It's amazing what you can achieve when you think it through and have an actual plan of attack. And with fitness, there's a system to it, and a lot of times, especially for personalities like mine, we have to realize we have to pull back sometimes on our goals in order to speed up on them. And I know even for me, I had to take a whole month of pulling back on my fitness goals to get where I am today, which is totally surpassing what I ever thought I could do at 53, you guys. 53, and I'm running faster than I was probably running in my 40s.
Yeah.
And I know I'm running healthier than I did in my 30s, because I used to be the girl in my 30s who would pop a couple Motrin in a Diet Coke, so that if my knees and my ankles hurt, I didn't feel it and I could just run farther. And now I don't do any of that craziness, so I'm much healthier mentally and physically in my running, and I don't have the pain, because I'm also internally healing things and reducing inflammation by the lifestyle that I've created with fasting and feasting.
Yeah.
So it's amazing
exactly.
what you can accomplish when you just learn how to utilize your body to its best abilities and heal yourself from the inside. So running pain-free at 53 at faster paces than I did in my 40s, and a lot healthier than I did at my 30s. So that's saying a lot for sure, and I know Michael's feeling the same way.
Yeah, I feel the same way. 55 here, and like Diane's saying, sometimes the ego gets in the way a little bit, and coming from a background of playing football, well, not past high school, but just high school football and sports and everything. I've always been in that competitive mode. Having an older brother, always been in that competitive mode. So I've learned to pull back to get better.
Yeah.
And something I want to do too for September is I want to hit the road. My daughter's in cross country, and to support her, I want to get out on the road again and run. And in Texas, it's been blazing. It's blazing hot in the summertime, so with approaching fall, it's going to be a great time to get out with her, run a couple miles, and I'll see how that goes because I haven't really run in a lot of years.
The family who runs together stays together, I guess, or something. I don't know. Okay, so Deanna finally caught us live. Super happy you were able to catch us live. Bridget, thanks for jumping on with us. I work in a cardiology office. Very true. Know your numbers and risk factors. Yeah, for sure. And then Patrice, love you guys, trying to get my hubby on the path of wellness. Patrice, the best advice I can give you, and Michael will contest to this, as you know, he's always been on the path of wellness generally, but I've also taken him down some roads of crazy health things. And so it took him a little while to jump on board with the fasting thing because he thought it was just another one of those crazy things I was going to drag him through. 4 years later, here we are. So set the example, and time and consistency will help build confidence in other people to follow the path that you're creating. So just be consistent over time and he'll jump on board with you for sure. And then Stephanie, Michael should read Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease by Caldwell Esselstyn or something like that. Okay?
All right.
She says it's a life changer, or along with intermittent. She says it's a life changer along with intermittent fasting. So I agree with that. And then Deanna, I love the Passion Planner. I've tried others and it seems like I always go back to the Passion Planner. I've done the same thing. You should see I have a whole bookshelf of other planners and I always go back to the Passion Planner. It is my goal setting book. It is my gratitude book. It is my list book. It is my note-taking book. It is my everything book, and I absolutely love it. So I'm happy that you're finding joy with it as well. Did you buy your 2021 yet? The colors are gorgeous. And then Lori, 2019 grad, I need to set new goals for next season. I have exceeded a lot of my health goals. Feeling amazing. Girlfriend, go look at those things you crushed and add on to them for sure. And I'm super excited that you've exceeded those health goals. That's amazing, and you want to keep at that for sure. And then Lisa, I agree. I did my full metabolic panel and compared with years past. Weight was going up, numbers were discouraging, but this next testing, I am excited to see changes now that I'm doing IF. Yeah, girlfriend, and keep us posted for sure.
Yeah.
We used to do a thing 2 years ago where once a month I would have people send me their new blood work and their panel work, and we would share before and after numbers here live in their community. It was super fun. So never be afraid to share your numbers with us. We would love to see what progress you're making for sure, and give people some encouragement and some hope to jump on board with us for sure. And then Janine signed up for the September course and received the bonus feasting guide. Can't wait to start. Oh, Janine, I'm super happy for you. So for those of you who are considering joining our September course, we just offered a free bonus for anyone who signs up between now and tomorrow, end of day. You're getting 13 pages of my favorite intermittent feasting. I don't want to say recipes because I'm not a recipe person, but ideas, my feasting ideas. And one of the pages in there are some really healthy choices for those of you who like to have a little chocolate snack every now and then, or treat. And they're all super healthy, gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free choices. And then there's 12 other or 11 other recipe ideas or feasting ideas
really
in
nice.
there.
Really
So
nice
make sure
guide.
you grab that when you register this weekend. And then let's see, Adolph. We got a nasty guy in here. Detoxifying Emily from Virginia, found your channel about a month ago, have been intermittent fasting for about that long and feeling awesome, no more hot flashes. Yeah, that is awesome. So many people think that, or so many women, I guess I should say, think that, hot flashes are part of a certain season of your life, and they're really the end result of things being out of balance in your body. And so once you get those things back in balance, then hot flashes are no longer part of how you're going to describe the season of life that you're in. So I'm super happy that you were able to benefit from that. And then Norma, do I still have time to join the class for September? Yes, you do, girlfriend. We don't close registration until next Friday, but if you're interested in getting my intermittent feasting guide, I would sign up before 10 p.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow night, and that way you'll be able to take advantage of our free offer with the feasting guide. And then Kathy from Colorado, my annual physical is coming up at the end of September. I cannot wait to see how the IF lifestyle is affecting my numbers. Oh, Kathy, keep us posted for sure. We go to the doctor's office, we're running in. We're so excited. And it's always super fun to kind of play off the doctors a little bit when we tell them our age, or they read our age. And they're like, so what kind of prescription medication are you on? None. None? Yeah, none. well, how is it that your heart rate is this? How is it that your this is this? How is it that your weight is this? Your postmenopausal, like, we know how to take care of ourselves. Like, it's so disappointing for the doctor when we're like, yeah, we have no issues. We're just here to like feed our ego that everything that we're doing is right, and it's going to be an easy appointment for you. So it's always a trip going to the doctor when they're a little bit disappointed, and not so much they're encouraged by how healthy we are, but we are definitely not their norm usually at the age that we are at. Bridget, so I just bought 2 books by Dr. Berg, trying to find my personal healthy keto best plan by keeping it super simple. Need to sign up for the September class. Yeah, for sure. And we don't do any specific type of food genre. I really give you the information and the encouragement to create your own, so you don't have to follow anybody's plan. You figure out food for yourself. So I'm super excited to have you join us. And then Gloria, I can't believe how listening to your channel for a month has changed my health. No more inflammation, and I can move now. IF is the answer. Thanks for your help. Gloria, you're super welcome, and thanks for trusting us with you. And Louisa, last night I was hyper and could not sleep. I went to bed around 12:45 and was up by 6. Today I felt a bit cranky. Still did my 24. Yeah, that happens sometimes. I always say, when you have those kind of sleep nights, I always say it's just something internal going on. It's not that you did anything wrong, and you kind of have to just go with the flow. I woke up a little cranky this morning myself. We went to bed later than we had planned, and I was supposed to work out this morning, but it was my extra day. I could work out, could not work out, and so I just chose not to. And I did a little face mask, and I put my makeup on, and did my hair, and got dressed. But before you know it, I was in a better mood. So sometimes you have to just change how you're going about your day and then trick yourself into being in a better mood. So hopefully you're feeling better, and I'm super glad you got your fast in. And then Deanna, I use PreWorkout as well. Should I still not use the keto cream while I'm in a fasted state? I was using it in the morning to kick in producing natural ketones, but thinking use it maybe like a dessert later. Yeah, the keto cream with PreWorkout is one of those things that I'm always a little just questionable about, because it has their MCT oil in it, and their MCT oil has soybean oil in it. So test it out and make sure it's not going to be causing you any kind of problems. And then I say keto cream is definitely a treat, and it's awesome. I would be lying if I said I didn't like having it every now and then, but I would definitely do it at the break fast time, and I would do it on occasion and not make it an everyday thing, because there could be some things in that MCT oil that could be knocking you out of where you want to be hormonally. And then where can I sign up? Norma, there is a, oh, you know what? I'm going to type you a link right now. And look, Michael, you want to start reading the Facebook page?
Yeah. Okay.
Can't talk and type at the same time. You can go to fortoday'sagingwoman.com, and right in there it'll say there's a September course. Just click on that and you can sign up for sure.
Teresa says hi from Stormy Flower Mountain. Yeah, we're right there with you. I'm crushing my Go All In goals for this week. Thanks for challenging me. Yeah,
you're welcome, girlfriend. And we're going to HG Supply Company today, so we'll share with you what we had. We're for sure going to have the cashew queso, but we'll let you know what other things we decide to have for sure.
And Marianne says hello. Marianne also says hubby found out he had colon cancer. Wow, with routine 50-year-old screening. Thank God it was early detection. Yeah, thank God for that.
Yeah, early detection's key. It's those things like Michael said, like you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of what you're paying for in your insurance premiums, right? And so go get your screenings done. Go get your mammograms done every year. Go get your annual physical. Physical isn't that thing where, we've changed our mindset a lot about a physical. A physical is not where you go to try to find out if something's wrong. Your physical is where you go to prove what you're doing is right. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people go into their annual physical scared that something's going to be uncovered. You don't want to be scared that something's going to be uncovered. You want to just take advantage of the possibility of finding something early if it's there. But you want to go to reinforce that what you're doing is working for you. It's a mindset shift. Everything we do has to start with that mindset shift. So go into your doctor's appointment thinking, I'm going to prove that everything I'm doing is working, because I'm not going to walk out of there with any new problems. I'm going to walk out of there with the confidence and the encouragement to stay on track.
Yeah, something we've done with our physicals is we go in every year and we tell them, I want a full blood panel with this physical, and they a lot of times they'll just go, okay, and it's like, okay, now tell me what's in your full blood panel, because nowadays, because of insurance, there's a lot of things they'll keep off. Like my first blood panel, had a D3 screening, and then the next year I came in and there was no D3 screening anymore because insurance wasn't covering it anymore for their business. So yeah, so we definitely do the blood panel every year so we can keep track of everything that's going on, and you can progressively see every year what your readings are.
Yeah, and the thing about blood work is like SAT tests and STAR testing for our kids in elementary school and all that stuff is you have to remember, and this is what I try to teach, this is what I'm going to be teaching, and what I try to share when I share my blood glucose and ketone levels. It is a reading in a moment of time on a day, right? And blood is circulating throughout your body, and everything going through that blood is also constantly changing. So you want to make sure that you're getting your blood work done on a regular basis so that you don't see any huge spikes or declines in numbers, but know that numbers are going to always be shifting, right? And that just like a weight chart or what other kind of charts do we not go by anymore? Even calorie trackers or like nothing is
Even
specific to you. Yeah, workout heart rate charts and all that. And so the norm is an average of a society, and you're not average in this society. So remember that just because numbers are normal doesn't mean that they're normal for you, right? So don't be alarmed. Like I always go in and they're like, your blood pressure is super low. Are you fainting? You need to do, and I'm like, it's been that way my whole life. So it's low compared to your charts, but it's normal for me. And so always keep those things in mind too. If you're feeling great, don't be too freaked out by something that might be warned about if everything else checks out.
So Marianne, sorry to hear about your husband,
Yes.
but I'm glad he got the early
okay.
detection.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Anna. She says seasonal distress disorder. I must have had this last year.
Yeah, that's when you got kind of your mood changes when the seasons change. So I just kind of like to call it the winter blues. Seasonal distress disorder sounds like something you need to like have a prescription for or something. And so I say the blues, and I like to just get ahead of them. So we'll talk about that a little bit next month, but thanks for the correct term on that one for sure.
Yeah, and I'm so encouraged to start IF from Aisha.
Yeah, we can't wait for you. It's super fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so someone asked if we're going to share the cashew queso dip recipe.
There's one more.
Oh.
Angie Orozco. Always good to see you.
Um,
Hope you both have a great weekend.
So the cashew queso, no. It's not. I don't make that. I buy that. You can get the Siete Foods brand cashew queso. You can find it at Whole Foods. And I think some Sprouts have it, and some grocery stores are starting to carry it now. They have a couple different versions of it. But the one that we get is at HG Supply Company, which is a new restaurant here in town.
Really
and it
good.
is amazing. So we'll be having that tonight. If I can figure out how to make an easy cashew queso, I will definitely share it. But you guys will see when you get my feasting guide and when you get into my course, if it takes more than 2 or 3 steps to put something together for a feast, this sister is not going to make it, or I'm going to figure out a shortcut to it. So I'll look at a cashew queso recipe. If I can figure out a shortcut to it, then I will definitely share it with you guys. But there's just some things that you need to buy, and cashew queso is one of those things that we go out and buy. In my feasting guide, though, is my pesto recipe, which we use for pasta sauces, we use for dipping with chips, we use for spreads on sandwiches, or we use for dipping vegetables in. And so if you are registering for September Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman course, between today and tomorrow, you will get my pesto recipe, which is it's an internationally known recipe, might I say.
Very good.
And it is a family favorite. It's one of our comfort foods, and one of the things that I always make when we have special people coming over to our house for dinner. And it is always the thing that my kids request when they're feeling like they want to be homey and cozy and warm as well. So you'll get that recipe when you sign up this weekend for sure. Okay, cool. So we are done for today. We're going to get out of here. We got to go pick Gabby up for school. We got to take our little Callie on a little walk before we go out to dinner tonight. We will share the pictures of what we eat when we go out to a restaurant and feast tonight. And then make sure you sign up between today and tomorrow. You get that feasting guide for free. Registration is open until next Friday. I hope to have you guys in the course with us in September. We are going to have a lot of fun. And then for those of you who have been in our community for a while, keep an eye out on your email for sure, because we are going to be sending out some invites for you to join us in some other areas coming up to close out the rest of the year. We love you guys. We appreciate the fact that you come around and hang out with the community of people that we have here, and that you're super welcoming and warm to my beautiful husband, Michael, who gets to come in and join us on Friday as well. We love sharing our experiences and our journey with you guys, and we love that you're willing to participate with us as well.
All right. Well, have a great weekend.